I'll call the meeting to order. The regular meeting of the Board of Directors, Wednesday, October 21st. And I'll ask Director Flowen if he would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America
and
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, welcome all. We see the weather's changing. That's a good thing. Determination of a quorum, General Manager.
Mr. President, all directors are here. You have a quorum.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Item number 4.
So moved.
All
I'll second
right.
that.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Do a roll call, President.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. President Johnson,
Aye.
Vice President Unger,
Aye.
Director Reynolds,
Aye.
Director Flowen,
Aye.
Director Hund.
Aye.
Very good. All right, we'll skip item number 5, public comment. I don't think anything was submitted to the district. Item 6, the consent calendar. Matters on the consent calendar considered routine in nature will be enacted in a single motion without discussion. Any more board member or member of the public may request an item be removed from the consent calendar and acted on separately. And what we have is the check registry, draft minutes from the last minute, draft minutes from the last meeting, and our late investment and performance review. Do I have a motion, sir?
Can I bring
Yes, sir.
one thing
Yes,
up?
sir. Tom?
On the check register, it's I think the first page, but near the top, there's an entry for Anthony Betka.
Tom, can you start again? I can't hear.
Moment detail.
Your audio's messed up.
26, did we hear that?
If anybody that's not talking can mute their microphone for me until it's time to talk. There's some TV coming through or something there. Thank you.
How about now? 109876, can you hear me? Okay, page 3 of the check report. It's about the roughly the 3rd or 4th entry down, Anthony Betka. Can we talk about that, assuming it's not part of the closed session tonight? It's a $4,600 outlay.
Sure. Our employees actually, or some of the employees, there was a decertification that arose, a vote for that. And as part of our requirements, we're required to hire a third party to actually collect those votes from members of the union. And so that's that gentleman's fee.
Thank you very much.
I would just like to draw attention to the LAIF investment performance item on the consent calendar. We got a chance to go through that in the Finance Committee, and I'd like to thank Director Reynolds for actually kind of making an issue out of that LAIF investment performance and getting it on the agenda. We had a really good discussion about it in the Finance Committee. And Director Reynolds, if you want to dive into that now, would be a great chance for you to do that.
I'm not ready to do that.
Was it helpful? I found it extremely helpful, actually. I was really glad that we went into it and got a chance to put it out there.
Just a brief comment on that. I said in an earlier meeting a few weeks ago that there are 2,376 participants in the local agency investment fund, and with a total investment dollar of $32.4 billion. Apparently what's happening is that the state invests in something called the pooled money investment account. And they participate in that, which is also run by the state. And actually, the state itself invests its own money in that. Their general fund, for example, is invested in this PMIA. So it's for real. There's a little bit of grumbling that goes on about our yield on that, and how we kind of wistfully wish that we could earn more money. But I like the part about the reliability and the liquidity. We can draw rather immediately, I guess, on our funds that are invested there. And it kind of looks like, if you look at the inflation rate, 2.1 for 2016, 2017 is 2.1, 2018, 1.9. This is the inflation rate. And 2019, 2.3%. And so far this year is 1.4. So it's roughly tracking, our income is roughly tracking inflation. So in having our money in LAIF, we're not actually losing buying power. We're not making much money, if anything, with our money. Well, we are making money with our money, but for me, it's the security, the liquidity, and the fact that we are tracking inflation, so we're not losing buying power. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd just like to say thanks to Susan and Ann for pushing this out. It was so quick. I mean, I was a great turnaround, and I'm sure Director Reynolds will enjoy the reading. It was a treat, actually, to have this so far in advance. So thank you. With that, I'll go ahead and call for the motion.
I move that we approve the items on the consent calendar.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, roll call.
President Johnson,
Aye.
Vice President Unger,
Aye.
Director Reynolds,
Aye.
Director Flowen,
Aye.
Director Hund. Director Hund,
Oh, he's muted.
unmuted, sorry.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 7, moving along. Discuss and close out the Mojave Water Agency debt. Recommended the Board of Directors receive for information only. And we reviewed this again at that most riveting finance meeting that happens all the time. So this is, who is this? Ann, Susan, and thank you.
Alrighty. So this, as you mentioned, is something that we reviewed at the October 14th Finance Committee. It's a presentation to give a little bit of background about the Mojave Water Agency debt and the fact that it's now winding down. Susan was kind enough to contribute a lot of the historical information here, so I'll go over that to start. On June 5th, 1990, the voters within Improvement District M authorized issuance of bonds in the amount of $66.5 million by Mojave Water Agency for acquisition and construction of the Morongo Basin pipeline. This approval committed the district to 30 years of debt service payments, which are now winding down soon. As a result of the voter approval, in 1991, the district entered into a project agreement with Mojave Water Agency, committing to pay 27% of the costs of acquiring and constructing the pipeline in exchange for 27% of the project allotment water capacity. Mojave Water Agency's final payment on the bonds is coming up in 2022, and our 2 final payments, or the final 2 payments from the project participants, are due were due actually in June 2020 and June 2021. And those 2 final payments are smaller than the typical payments. Now, Mojave Water Agency has always intended to use interest earnings on the associated invested funds to offset final debt service payments. In anticipation of those investment earnings, and so that they don't collect funds from participants that they will not need to pay off the debt, Mojave Water Agency did not bill us in June 2020 for our budgeted $220,33 payment. They also don't plan to bill us in June 2021, and will wait closer to the actual final due date of the payment in fiscal year 21-22 to determine what is due from the participating agencies. The estimated payment at this point is $169,597. But because we don't know what Mojave's future interest earnings will be, and because of the market volatility with COVID right now, the auditors, our auditors, have recommended that we record a long-term debt for this amount, for the $169,597. And so we have that recorded on our books as of June 30, 2020. Now, as we move on to page 2 here, or page 23 of 26, you can see in the table what the original payments were designated to be. So in the first column, the total participant share was $925,800. JBWD's share was $249,966,000 in total. And our budget now, as amended, or as we anticipate to set that budget, we will be reducing 2021. We will be recording the budget only in 21-22 for $169,597. And you can see also that our rate study funding in the final column was actually totaled out to be $440,000, split among 1920 and 2021. So the final payment that's due from the district to Mojave Water Agency won't occur until 2021-22, and Mojave is deferring collection of the annual payments in the interim. The district has sufficiently funded the costs that may be due via the rate study, and will be prepared to make that final payment in fiscal year 21-22. And just if I can add, question that came up in the Finance Committee meeting about whether there would be extra funds available. And so to that I will say, if all estimates and projections hold true, there will be extra funding available. And any questions on that?
Yes, thank you. I'll start with Director Reynolds, if I may.
Thank you. I don't have any questions at this time.
Okay. Director Hund.
Nor do I.
Okay. Let's see. Director Unger. I got out of order. I'm sorry.
You left out old lonesome Tom over there.
No, I saw Tom. He was smiling. I saved him for last.
Go ahead and get Tom.
Okay. Director Flowen.
Where does the money come from, Ann?
Where does it come from?
Yeah.
So that is something that is funded through our rate study. So when the rates are developed, that funding is included in those needs.
So does that mean that the participants in this, the ratepayers, for example, are paying 2 times? They're paying through their water company with the water company rates, and they're also paying on their property tax that they pay yearly. Because I've been looking and I've been seeing this Mojave Water M bond debt. Well, I've got a couple of them here. One is $13. The other is $30.90 on my property tax bill. And interestingly enough, when all of this stuff has been going on, this last year, that M thing has dropped off of my property tax this year. I'm no longer paying that. So it's kind of curious to me how this all gets funded. It sounds like Mojave Water Agency was tentative about ending the collecting of money because I was hearing that they've got sufficient money on hand for this bond thing to pay it now. But that's with deposits or security or whatever money they're holding. But my thought was that they want to continue, don't want to pay everything off completely yet because something might happen, and then their pockets will be turned inside out because they kind of ended everything early. So we're actually from our area, they're getting the money from two sources. One from not even from our area, they're getting money from all of the water agencies that are involved, Yucca and the one in Landers. It escapes me for a moment. And then some county area also. They were getting that money all along from these agencies, and they were getting it from everybody's on a parcel tax from everybody in all of those areas. So what's going to happen here is when that ends, there's going to be some money laying around, I think, that we'll be able to spend. I'm sure it's all on the up and up, but it's a little bit confusing to me how all the money is flowing to pay off the bond.
Yeah, there are several components to the bond, and I don't know the final details, but I see they have bonded debt 1, which is a 100% pass through to DWR for water project costs, and it's based on taxes that are based on assessed value. And they also have a bonded debt number 2, and that is also mostly passed through to DWR for water project costs. And that bonded debt number 2 includes some operating and maintenance costs, which was something we were concerned about, where those funds would come from after this bond is paid off, after this debt is paid off. Again, bonded debt number 2, also taxes based on assessed value. And it's also, I have a note that is not capped and can be increased by a vote of the Mojave Water Agency Board. Now, what we're talking about tonight is the Improvement District M, which is the construction of the pipeline only, and our piece of this puzzle. And I'm sure Susan could probably elaborate if I've missed something important there.
I did want to say that the primary source of funding for Joshua Basin Water District's share of the Mojave Water Agency debt has come from the standby charges. So that is the primary source, and that has been our primary use of those standby charges over the years. So
Right.
And that everybody pays into that, not just the ratepayers, but everybody.
Right. Right. So we're spreading it out further among, people who have entitlement in the future, or, don't have entitlement yet, someday, because they're in our water district.
Yeah, and so they're doing that in every one of the one that I forgot was Desert Bighorn Desert View is the other one that participates. So all of those property tax, all those property owners in Yucca Valley, Desert, Bighorn Desert View, Joshua Tree, all of those property owners are participating into that. So finally, we do still have to pay on the connection from our recharge ponds to the pipeline. Are we still paying on that?
From our recharge ponds?
No, that was...
No, we made that connection, back in 1991 or something like that. That was paid in full. We had to pay for that. So
yeah.
Okay. I'm done taking up your time. Thank you.
Vice President Unger?
Tom, you're not taking up time. You're helping to explain things. I appreciate it. And I remember, my gosh, at the finance meeting saying, good heavens, people started to assess themselves in 1990. And in 2014, we finally got the recharge pond built and got our straw in. And then Susan had some other history. Susan, would you tell the rest of the history of this?
Do you mean about the way that we weren't at the table? That
Yeah, that one.
so the election was held in 1990 throughout the Morongo Basin for all those agencies that Director Flowen spoke about, voting to say yes. Do we want to commit ourselves? Do we want the water? Do we want to commit ourselves to the payment? Subsequent to that, or partly as a result of that, a recall occurred in Joshua Tree, and a majority of our board was recalled and replaced by another group of folks. And at the time, the Morongo Basin pipeline was a huge source of contention. We didn't want the water. We didn't need it. We had no intention. We were saddled with this debt, but beyond that, we did not want to be a participant. And so we were actually directed by the board not to go and participate with Mojave Water Agency to figure out where the pipeline was going to go, where it would extend to. So guess what? The Morongo Basin pipeline extended to High Desert Water District. It got within their boundary, maybe not where they wanted it or ultimately needed it to be, but it got to within their boundary. It got to within the boundary of Bighorn Desert View Water Agency. It did not come all the way to Joshua Basin Water District, and we had to pay around $300,000 to bring it into our boundary. So because we were not at the table, we were out of the running there. We didn't want to be part of the solution, and so we weren't. Just lesson learned there, really. It was a done deal, and we needed to participate. We needed to be there, and we paid a price as a result of it. So
Fascinating.
All right. With that, I'll entertain a motion and to accept this as information, as a roll call.
Do we vote on that?
Do we need there's nothing to be approved.
I think it's just for information.
Okay. Is that right, Mark?
Can I make a comment? This is Jane.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just happened to have received my property tax bill. Had it sitting here, and you're making me look at it in much more detail than I ever did. Thank you, Tom. And there are 3 Mojave water bond debt lines. 2 of them have money on it, and 1 is 0. And then we have the Joshua Basin 2 line items also. Anyway, thank you for educating me further.
Thanks, Jane. All right, I'll move on to item number 8 then, if there's no other comments. Any other comments? Apologies, can't see everybody here. Be glad when we get back to open house, eh? Item number 8, CIRP pipe purchase, and recommended the board of directors approve submitted pipe purchase. And this was reviewed by the finance committee, and I'm not sure who this is. It's general manager or Ann, Susan?
Should be Mark, if he's
Mark,
available.
okay.
If he's there.
Oh, Mark, you muted.
Got stuck by my own rule there. So this is for our first half of the Tilford project up on the north end of the district, replacing an area that's high in leaks. It purchases 25,000 feet of 8-inch PVC, 1,000 feet of 6-inch, and 1,800 feet of 12-inch pipe for that area. Staff put an RFP out on September 17th requesting proposals for that pipe, which closed on October 1st. And Core and Main actually won this bid, Inland Waterworks won this bid for a total cost of $229,477.33, which was only a few thousand off from the Core and Main bid. So real tight competitive bidding. And that concludes my report, and I'll have you answer any questions.
Right, I think this is another just information only, but I'll start with Director Reynolds.
Thank you. On the subject of pipe, Is there this is, my only concern is the pipe that we have that's out in the sun. Have we made arrangements to get that covered up?
Yeah, we've actually got some of those vinyl tarps coming. So
Excellent.
yeah, and that pipe's going to get used up pretty quickly too. I think there's only, Brandon, 1,000 feet out there, maybe tops.
Yeah, I noticed the stack is dwindling, but that sun sure is powerful.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Director Hund.
No comment. Thank you.
All right. Director Flowen.
Yeah, for me, you see the pipe darkening in the sun. That may be just that may be just a minor surface characteristic, but it's the O-rings that I kind of sensitive about. But I got a feeling that that we're using that stuff at a rate where this isn't a factor. Although I am sensitive about it, as everybody knows. What I was intrigued by, though, is that you see like the coin of the realm here is the 8-inch pipe that's 25,000 feet. That's the standard now, and it's required for fire flow. But what I have in mind is these dollar numbers here are only partially what the cost is, because there's all sorts of other connectors and other types of things that I don't think the word appurtenances applies here. I'm not sure that occur. Just off the top of my calculator, I noticed that if we have to put a fire hydrant every 600 feet to meet the fire codes, and I'm not sure of that number, that would be 41 fire hydrants, which would be pretty expensive, I would think. Plus the extension, which I believe is a steel pipe that comes down the bottom, and there's a steel elbow down there and all that. So there is going to be a lot of other costs to this thing, and also too, I'm guessing that Ann and Susan are going to figure in when they do a per foot cost for this stuff, for laying the pipe, that they can consider labor and possibly depreciations on equipment and all sorts of other stuff too, so that we can establish what our financial position is. But I just wanted, just as a note of caution to people that tune in, so to speak, is that simply buying the pipe is not the cost of laying 25,000 feet of pipe. Is just my point. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Director Unger.
I have nothing. Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Johnson, may I pipe in here?
If one second, and I think that's Jim Corbin.
Yes, sir.
Am I mistaken here that I think that we owe the staff, you and Brandon, and you in particular, some kudos for actually putting extra energy and finding us a remarkable deal on this?
Yeah, I would give the credit all the way around. Mark did most of it. But I would like to say that just recently we sent just about the entire CIRP crew, as well as 2 other staff members, to the manufacturer in Fontana, and they all attended a 4-hour, not so much a training, but they got to see the pipe being made. And while they were there, they also learned about the darkening that everyone's concerned about. I just want to, assure everybody, our customers, the board, and so forth, that we are more hesitant than anyone to put that pipe in, and we're confident of what we're doing. If we get to a point where we think we're going to have any issues, we'll contact the manufacturer, etc. So they learned a lot down there, and that pipe is really resilient. So a little darkening is not going to hurt anything, they assure us, and they've been doing this for many, many years. So I just wanted to point that out, and also point out that Director Flowen mentioned about the appurtenances, fire hydrants and stuff. That is true. But it's also important to note that we're not having any leaks by the playhouse. Thank God. That whole area is just about done, and it's a monumental thing to me. I think it's awesome. So I want to thank the board and everyone for doing their part and kind of let the community know that we're excited about doing this and it's going forward. So I don't mean to take up the whole meeting, but I think it's important to get that out there.
No, on behalf of the board, I just want to say thank you, Jim and Brandon. That's up and beyond the call of duty. And, you know, we at the Finance Committee really appreciate you guys going out there and bargain hunting and getting quality stuff and, you know, actually going through the whole process. So thank you. And modesty is definitely part of this crew, gang? So with that,
Thank you.
Can I make a comment again?
Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I didn't know if you were done asking the board members.
I think we are.
Okay, I recall at the Finance Committee meeting, there was a comment about, and we didn't verify it with Mark, that the reason the Core and Main was chosen, I mean, the inland was chosen over Core and Main was not just the difference in the amount of money. And I just wanted to verify with Manager Ban that what we heard was that you had experience working with inland and preferred the company, as well as the fact that they were the lower bidder.
Both those company are good. They're getting it from the same manufacturer. So on this particular instance, it's strictly because of the cost. So.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Okay, thank you.
So I just, I guess, Mark, do we need a motion on this?
Yes, please.
All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that the Board of Directors approve the submitted pipe purchase as presented in the agenda tonight.
All right, that's for a total of $22,029,477.33. And there's a second on that. Any other discussion? Hearing none, then roll call, please.
Vice President Johnson, or President Johnson, sorry.
Quickly demoted. Aye.
Vice President Unger?
Aye.
Hey, it was my first mess up out of like 30 of these. So Director Reynolds?
Aye.
Director Flowen?
Aye.
Director Hunt?
Aye.
Thank you.
Excuse me, who made the second on this?
I thought it was Director Reynolds.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, General Manager's report, item number 9.
Perfect. So we did a little bit of time talking about the guys putting in pipe there. So I wanted to show a couple images here. Let me see if I can share my screen real quick. There it is. Sure. Everybody see the pictures there?
Oh, those are great.
All right, here, let me go from the beginning here. Oops. Get this one off of here. All right, how's that? So this is the project that our CRP crew has been completing over the past week. This is one of the last pipeline portions. We finally got Caltrans approval and had them out on site for us to move forward on this. So we had Tops and Barricades come out and provide us traffic control, shutting down the slow lane there on the westbound lane. This is the old PVC that ran along that we had to tie into to actually run down Juniper and provide water service to the new main we installed there. And then this is us completing a hot tap on that same line that we just showed. So you can see it's pretty deep, and we've got some our shield in place there to protect our employees from any cave-ins. Another image there. This is part of the 12-inch line going down the highway there. You can see we sling that into the pipeline there. It's really heavy, so. Another image there, the pipe. And then here's our backfill. Unlike where we use native fill throughout the rest of the district, because this is in Caltrans right away, we actually had to use Class 2 base and some sand in order to backfill so we could reach compaction on the same day, which is basically what's happening here. So So as these guys were installing, we were ensuring that the correct compaction that was required by Caltrans was present. Then a final little shot of them going down Juniper. And there's their cleanup, pretty nice.
Beautiful.
So I definitely want to thank the guys for all their hard work this week. It was one of the harder parts of the job, and saved for last for that purpose. So
Oh, that was great. Thank you.
absolutely.
All right.
And one more announcement. Bill Klein, who's been a 12-year employee of the district here, has decided to retire. Tomorrow will be his last day here with the district. So we wish him goodwill and thank him for his longtime service here to the district. So
yes, thank you, Bill.
And Kathleen, I believe you had a couple things you wanted to note on the end of this too.
All right, everyone hear me now? Okay, the swamp cooler study is officially ending. No one's going to be using their swamp cooler when it's 50 degrees outside. So we will be removing the meters either this Friday or early next week, but I think it's going to be Friday. And the data will be released, compiled and released in November, and we'll get those numbers to share with all of you. We're all kind of anxious. The Bureau of Land Management grant is on track now. We are having to use temporary signage to represent the permanent signs because there's a delay in getting the permanent signs. Of course, there is a delay. But it's all going to work out. BLM's happy with it. Everything's good. And we'll probably be applying before the end of this month for our first reimbursement on the grant. So that's good. And they say it should be a quick turnaround. They have a new system in place that we are not on a bone trying to get through it, but now it's supposed to make everything go fast. So that'll be encouraging. And the Halloween program that we've got set up for October 31st in the garden. I want to once again thank Tom Floan for pushing this to do something. We're getting a lot of positive kudos in advance. We haven't even done it yet. Everyone's just thanking us and saying this is going to be so wonderful. So it's very timely. Time with COVID and everything, it's going to work out well in the garden. So I just wanted to say it's a strong positive. You should be hearing the ads on both radio stations. They started on the 16th of October and they sound fun. It should be fun. So if anyone knows people with kids, have them come. Also, wildcrafting course, it culminates this Friday. It's been going very well, and some good things have come out of it, which I'll share down the line, not right now, because I have to, until it's in ink, I'm not going to say anything. But the plant sale, also, I may have mentioned it at the last meeting, but the final profit was about $1,300, and that was above what I was hoping for, considering we didn't have Water Education Day to bring the foot traffic in. And so that helps keep our program going. It's shared with the national park, but again, there's some good things coming out of this and to be continued. And that is my report as it is right now. Thank you.
And I didn't make it onto the agenda. I really just noticed we had a public information and legislative committee meeting in this time period here. Kathleen?
Can I make one comment quickly?
Yeah.
Kathleen, is it appropriate to give a little PR for VFW?
Yes, I can do that. I can. I was going to really sing their praises after the event when I do a recap.
There you go.
And I do plan to do that because I have a photographer planned for this event and everything. So I do want to say I have been working with the local Joshua Tree VFW. They have been just amazing, and they think we're amazing. It's just kind of fun. You know, they think we're so amazing that we care about the community like this, and they want to They want to support us. And they said in the future, like when we do Water Education Day, bring them on. They want to help be part of what we're doing. They really believe in it.
Nice.
And I have to thank Bob Johnson for making the connection for this to happen, because, you know, I guess you have to ask. People just don't come forward necessarily as an organization and say, hey, include us. But they were just so grateful we did. And like I said, I have been getting nothing but positives. So thank you for
thank
that.
you. I know it means a lot to the guys and the gals over there, so thank you so much. Thank you.
It's a win-win. We're all grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be there. And Rebecca, you had a other information item, I
Yeah,
believe.
we had a public information and legislative committee, and Kathleen, you were talking about a couple of assembly bills at that meeting. Assembly Bill 606 and 1668. These are in the California legislature, and they had to do with mapping the canopy of the desert.
Oh, I got so many numbers in my head. In fact, there was another one I might have talked about tonight, but I think I just want to wait and see a little bit more. But the landscape mapping it's kind of a scary thing. However, I have done some more research. I've actually had some phone calls on it. The initial mapping of California down to 1 inch above the dirt was to record the canopy of the state so they can come up with a drought management plan for the entire state. And obviously we out here push native plant gardening, not St. Augustine grass. You know, we don't waste our water on planting plants, landscape that really doesn't belong out here. And we do encourage putting plants in the ground that after 3 years probably don't need much water at all. So you look around, there's no lawns. Victorville is still fighting and doing their cash for grass and fighting that battle. We don't really have that battle out here. And so when I found out we are a test site. We are one of the 11 sites throughout California. That's what I didn't report because I didn't know until I followed up more on it. But apparently, according to Mojave Water Agency, because like I said, did some investigating, not to worry that we're all native plant out here or similar, water-wise plants, because they are using us as one of 11 test sites, I would say markers for other desert communities. 11 sites throughout the state, depending on the region's waterfall, but we're like a test site for the desert. So we're kind of setting the standard. And I didn't know that when I reported. So there's your update on that. And I was told to just hang loose. There's more coming down, but we're a test site, and everything that's happening out here is being watched and monitored. So I guess that's wonderful. I mean, again, Joshua Basin Water District, woohoo, we're in the.
Well, that's important, Kathleen, because I mean, the swamp cooler study, this mapping of the canopy has to do with the coming legislation when they are, looking at how much, water per capita,
it is. Yeah.
Because when they're going to be running that through, then Mojave, the stuff, and they're not putting a meter on everybody's faucet. That's certainly not what it is. But these are all things that to show how we are using our water here, and certainly swamp coolers are not something they have in Ventura. They have lawns in Ventura.
Yeah, well, again, I think way back when this whole thing happened the first time, they didn't even acknowledge the water that swamp coolers consume. And right now, the state, apparently, with that, the PUC, they're pushing $300 kickbacks for people who will swap out and go to swamp coolers. Well, there's a trade-off, and now there's a dialogue that needs to start happening, because what's more important? Is it going to be the power brownouts and overstressing the power grid, or is it going to be we're running out of water? And so here they're encouraging people to use swamp coolers, but this study, just this tiny little study, may bloom into a bigger one soon, has actually made my hair curl because and that's saying a lot, because they're looking at, you know, an average now was about 60 gallons of water per day for a swamp cooler. And I said, we need to see those numbers, because if we're supposed to drop down to 55 gallons per day per person, and a swamp cooler alone uses that, this is kind of, wow, we really need to see those numbers. And everyone is starting to say this little study is more important than we realized. So to the
Thank you
people
so
who are,
much, Kathleen. Thank
yeah,
you on that.
to the people, well, there were a couple times I wanted to quit. I'll be honest with you. We just kept, how many times this thing hit a wall, this project? But we finally got it going. And to the people who came forward and let us use their swamp coolers for the study, we're going to be giving them a conservation bucket, thanking them, and we're going to
Nice.
take down the meters. So yeah, it's a very strong, positive, helpful thing. And Mark made things happen with his connections, getting us the free meters. So everyone worked on this project, everyone. And like I said, there were so many times we wanted to throw the towel in on, because we just couldn't get it off the ground. So now we're moving forward. Good stuff.
Well, thank you. And I mean, there was a lot of good things in that meeting, but I did want to hit on that one. I thought that tying that together and stuff. So I'm good, President Johnson.
All right, thank you very much. And with that, any other comments? I'll move on, if not, to item 10.
President Johnson,
Yes?
we were still on Mark's report.
Oh, I thought Mark
we're good.
passed it off to Kathleen.
Because I know you let Kathleen, I thought you had more to say. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Thank you.
Whoever that was, thank you very much.
Beverly.
Item number 10, directors' reports and meetings attended. And we'll start with the Mojave Water Agency, and that was September 24th, Vice President Unger.
That was me. Deronda Smith, who is their administrative assistant, she gave an invocation and she asked for divine help to apply the laws on the books and the laws that are just right. Director Richard Hall was absent. The workshop was a water market analysis of the groundwater banking project. It was given by Andrew Webster of Kennedy Jenks and Bryce McAteer of Wastewater Research. Webster said that marketing was one of the 3 elements of this analysis. Another one, of course, is the CEQA process. McAteer was looking at possible funding sources across the state among the Mojave Water Agency operators and partners, looking to see what agreements are already in place, including their CEQAs and their water inventory, and looking at major conveyance projects like pipelines and aqueducts. Director Kimberly Cox asked if they factored in pollution plumes, like in Barstow and Victorville areas. And President Thurston Smith asked about price tags. Other impacts on this banking are the drought, urban growth, state regulations and restrictions, agricultural production, environmental water demands, reclamation, SGMA, the State Water Project Management. It was quite a workshop. It was very dense, very granular. McAteer said that what was important was to get in early as a water banker and secure partners and money and risk sharing, which I thought was interesting. Director Jim Ventura asked if the Department of Water Resources would add more contracts and restrictions. And General Manager Kathy Courtner replied that DWR would have to approve any construction and any other agreements, and that she thought she would have a contract language for the DWR for the water management tools sometime this month. So there might be a Mojave meeting this month. The board approved 6-0 to add $87,000 to the service agreement with the Mojave Desert Resource Conservation District, who helps us with the swamp cooler study, for their Camp Katy irrigation pivot repair and riparian restoration and monitoring, and the Mojave River Vole survey at Palisades Ranch, and the biologist monitored release of tamarisk-eating beetles that will not attack the athol trees. The board approved 6-0 to renew the 5-year agreement with KP Public Affairs for state legislative advocacy service, not to exceed $90,000 a year at $7,500 a month. The agreement can be canceled by either party with a 30-day notice. The board approved 6-0 to renew the agreement with Innovative Federal Strategies, that legislative advocacy service, for 5 years at $61,000 for the first 4 years, $71,200 for the 5th year. It was a 4% increase from the previous contract and included a first-time small allowance for travel. President Thurston Smith adjourned the meeting at 11:13 in memory of fallen San Bernardino County firefighter Charles Morton, who died battling the El Dorado fire near Oakland on September 17th. The agendized closed session was canceled. That's my report.
All right, any comments? Hearing none, thank you. Yeah, you know, I heard those beetles don't travel too far. So there's something like the desert tortoise. They have a small little area that they confine themselves to. Pretty amazing stuff.
That's, yeah, it's not pesticides.
Yep, it's true. It's great. Mojave Water Agency Board of Directors on October 8th is Director Reynolds.
Oh, that's me. Thank you, Mr. President. I attended the meeting. It was a rather short agenda, a very rare occasion for the MWA meeting. The highlight of the meeting, though, was the approval of the water management tools Rebecca Unger was referring to in her report, and that was a biggie. They were glad to do that. 6-0 vote on that. Something that struck my interest was they did an agenda item to consider authorizing staff to advertise requests for proposals for corrosion-related testing on their pipelines. I found that to be pretty interesting. They're going to do some electronic testing, kind of like a high-tech video system that's going to go into their pipeline and look at primarily the joints. But by going inside of the pipe, you can see what's going on, potential threats or hazards, where you can see maybe a pipe has been collapsed that they wouldn't have known about, backfill, dangerous backfill, and even connections. And so they're going to do some testing and stay on top of that. That concludes my report.
All right, are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, then I'll move on to the Citizens Advisory Committee, Council, October 13th, and Chairperson Karen Tracy.
Present, and lots of brevity in the report tonight. I'd like to thank my team for showing up. 9 of 10 showed up, and I appreciate those team members showing up here as well. We have a prospective team member in Dan. Dan, if you're welcome to come to the next meeting when it's declared. We don't have a date yet, but it should be sometime in November. We usually meet the second Tuesday of each month, and we have lots of work to do, so I'm anticipating a meeting in November sometime. Drilling,
Karen.
Pardon?
November 10th.
Thanks, Beverly. If you can back channel to Dan and connect with him so he gets the information about our meetings.
I will, I'll make sure.
Thank you. Great. The actual meeting was short, and we only talked about the wastewater treatment strategy, which is going to be our principal agenda topic for going forward. We drilled a little bit deeper into the vocabulary and learning exactly what a wastewater treatment strategy is, and learned, let me see, what did she say? General Manager Band gave presentations comparing and contrasting old wastewater treatment strategy, which was 10 years ago. Barbara and I were there for that, with the new wastewater treatment strategy, and then handed it off to Dudek's Mike Metz, the engineer, who wrote a report that needs to be assisted by continuing work on the languaging and getting us familiar with exactly what is required of a wastewater treatment strategy. We deferred comments and I adjourned the meeting at 7:47. End of my report.
Thank you. Any comments? I'd just like to say thanks to the CAC. You guys are doing a great job, and please keep it up. We don't know what we'd do without you, so thank you so much. Finance Committee meeting, that was October 14th, another exhilarating, riveting meeting. And I'll let Vice President Unger comment if she'd like.
Well, the stuff that we covered was on the agenda tonight for the board, and it is really a great committee meeting. You learn a lot. You get a chance to really ask a lot of questions and look at things very closely. I definitely recommend as many people who can zoom in. You will really learn a lot. That's all I have.
Any comments? Hearing none, then I'll go to future director meetings and training opportunities. Mojave Water Agency, looks like it's tomorrow, Director Flowen. Mojave Water Agency Special TAC meeting is the 29th. That's Vice President Unger. The Morongo Basin Pipeline Commission, which is November 4th, that will be me. Our regular board of director meetings will be also that day on November 4th. Finance Committee is moved to November 10th at 9 o'clock. And also the Waters Resource and Operations Committee meeting is the 10th in lieu of the scheduled day, which is the 11th, which is Veterans Day, and happy Veterans Days to all the men and women in uniform and those prior and those currently serving. I'll ask for any closing comments. If not, the board is scheduled to go into closed session. Director Reynolds?
I'm here.
Okay. Just comments before we go.
No, I want to thank everybody for attending, and let's look forward to moving forward, and let's get busy with the closed session.
Yes, sir. Director Hun?
Yes, I also wanted to echo your comments to Karen. I think she does a great job of leading the Citizens Advisory Committee, and I feel like their input is so integral to what the board does to get broader feedback from our ratepayers and our community. So thank you, Karen. And I also want to thank everyone that attended this meeting tonight. I see candidates for the board. We've got staff here. I really appreciated your comments, Jim. And I know what a valued team member you are. I'm going off the board, but I just want you to know it wasn't lost on me what you and the rest of the team did. And I hope you feel like I was supportive of all of you in my term with the board. So, other than that, I know everybody is coping with, continuing to have to cope with COVID-19 in our work and our personal lives. And I just want to say to all of you that, we're all community and we're all pulling together and continuing to get through this. So, and I know this group here tonight is a big part of that for our community. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Director
Gary.
Flowen?
Just to say that I think my participation in the Halloween event that we're going to have at the garden was somewhat exaggerated. Kathleen has truly run the football on that. It is a big deal. It's complex, especially in this COVID-19 environment where she wants to have, she is intending to have activities there that are COVID safe for children. Simply some years ago, possibly, I made a comment about how it'd be nice if the park or if our garden became sort of a community center in a way, or a venue for activities, and that was the extent of it. Kathleen is the one that truly has run the football on this thing, and I will be there to assist her in any way possible. Thank you.
Will we recognize you?
Yes, you will.
We'll put a mask on him.
Yeah, okay. Of course he'll have a mask on. Vice President Unger.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Kathleen for the plant sale. I and Director-elect Jane Jarlsberg, we both worked that, and we did have a good turnout. I was handing out boxes of cactus and choyas to people in the desert. They were gladly taking this stuff, and yeah, I'm looking forward to Halloween, Kathleen. I will be there. My favorite holiday. And I would like to just say there's an election coming up in just a couple of weeks, and want to wish good luck to those candidates that are still running. I see Stacy is zoomed in tonight. Bob, good luck, man. We have another CAC member, Frank Code, who's also running for that District 5. And I would like to congratulate directors-elect Jane Jarlsberg and Tom Flowen for their upcoming 4 years on the Joshua Basin Water District. I'm so happy about that. And Director Hunt, thank you so much for taking these 4 years and being on the Joshua Basin Water District. You have been so valuable. You bring something that none of us have. You're a scientist, you're a biologist, you're a hydrologist, you're a geologist. You understand the very complex reports from a scientific point of view. So when you make an opinion on something, you've brought this great 30 or some years of knowledge to this. And I know you got real busy, but you're in the place where you really need to be on the Mojave Desert Land Trust. And just thank you for the 4 years that you gave to Joshua Basin. It's been valuable. That's it for
I
me.
appreciate it.
All right, I like to ditto that. Thank you, Director Hunt, for your service, and we've appreciated you, and we know we haven't seen the last of you, so I'll just say we thank you again. And the staff, I want to thank you too for all the hard, diligent work, and especially the guys tonight showing up. That was extra special. Thanks, Jim, Brandon, Jeremiah. I think you guys were all on there. So with that, do I entertain a motion to close, or how do I do this, Mark?
Do we have a report coming after this meeting? After your closed meeting, will there be a reportable?
Jeff?
It's Nate.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would have to defer to Nate Kowalski and Sarah on.
Okay. All right. Well, at this time, then I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session with legal counsel. And I just move into closed session? Is that what I do?
Yeah, you should have something on there that says move over to closed session.
Yeah.
All right, so time is 7:33. We'll adjourn this meeting to closed session.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Right.
Night.
How are you?
I'm good. Hello, Michael. How have you been?
I've been excellent.
That's what I like, man. Look at you.
Nate is the one who can answer your question on the report out, but that will depend on what you guys do in closed session. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I am, just so you know, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna cut out on this for a second in a couple minutes, but I'll be back in. But Nate is covering the item, so. But I'll be here.
Roger that.